as you know that I have been using an evaluation environment. So not all features may be fully functional, and the focus is on understanding the concepts. Okay, so you need to refer to official APGX documentation for latest and most accurate information. So here I've already set up an eval organization. So the first point is to create an API product, and this is the dashboard. So click on API product and then add create a API product, and I'll have to write some product details, hypothetical product detail within the evaluation organization, where I cannot create a payment gateway and I cannot show many things, but whatever I can show I will show. Okay, now I have filled some product details like display name, weather API gold tier, premium access to our weather API with enhanced features and higher rate limits. Environment is eval. Okay, that is the only environment, so I have clicked OK. Now access is private and quota. Here I will come back after filling some more fields like allowed OAuth scope, quota. So at the moment I can think of quota being a bit high, 1000 request time interval of minute, 1 minute, so 1000 requests per minute, and allowed OAuth scope. So this is a little bit important to understand. So now let's break down this allowed OAuth scope field in the Apigee X API product and how to populate it effectively. What is OAuth scope? OAuth scopes are permissions that a client application requests when authorizing access to a user's protected resources. They define the level of access that the client application is granted. Think of them as contract between the API provider and the client application, outlining what the client is allowed to do. Why it is important to have it in the API product? Because it enforces security and it provides granular control and improves developer experience, because it clarifies for developers what permissions they need to request to use the APIs within the product. And in the allowed OAuth scope, we can write a comma separated list. Say for this weather API, you can put a few of the allowed OAuth. So these are the scopes like read weather. So for basic weather data API product, it provides access to current weather conditions for a specific location. It's just a read weather. And for premium weather forecast API product, it provides access to 5-day weather forecasts and historical weather data, and it gives read forecast and then read weather both. And location aware, if it is a location aware weather API product, it allows access to personalized weather data based on users location. And some important considerations are consistency, like the scopes you specify in the API product must align with the scopes defined and used in your OAuth 2 authorization server. So Apigee X doesn't create OAuth scopes, it just validates that the scopes requested by the client application are allowed for that API product, and it gives us granularity. Design your scopes with appropriate granularity, avoid overly broad scopes that grant unnecessary permissions. API proxy configuration, you need to configure your API proxy to enforce the OAuth scopes. Typically, this involves using a policy like OAuth version 2 policy to verify the access token and ensure that the required scopes are present, and clearly document the available OAuth scopes. Next, I will create an operation configuration. So by default, it is selected on API proxy. So I will go with that and switch to entering API proxy manually if you don't find the proxy in the list below. So it is a hello world proxy which is automatically created on creating the eval organization. So I will go with that. Select this, and this is the path. So if I set this path to just simplest front slash, it means this operation applies to all paths within the hello world API proxy, which is important to note here that in a production environment, you typically be more specific, like /users or /products, /payments like that. But this is for simple test demonstration. I just chose this one. And there are several methods: get, post, put, delete, patch, etc. If I choose get, this means that the operation only applies to get requests on the /path, and because of this path, effectively all get requests to the API. If we wanted to include, on the other hand, methods like post, put, or delete, you need to either create separate operations or leave this field blank to allow all methods. Now you can leave it blank also to allow all methods. The choice is yours. And for quota, again, we can fill it like that. Say 1000 or 500. Say 1000 per minute. And custom attribute is optional. Okay. I can keep it blank and then click on save to save it. And then click save product. So that my product will be saved. Okay, guys. So let's click on monetization. Now you can see this monetization add-on is not enabled. So I need to contact sales. Now this is where the handicap is. This is eval organization. The monetization add-on is currently not enabled. This is a prerequisite for using the rate plans features. Unfortunately, this means that I can't perform a live step-by-step demo of the rate plan creation process within this. Okay, no issues. Now, before I actually move on to overview of Apigee monetization, Apigee X document, because there is a shortcoming that I just discussed, there is a clip that I would like to show you from the old Apigee Edge documentation by Apigee Edge official YouTube channel, and then we'll discuss it, the modern Apigee X overview. Okay, so switch to the.
What I'm going to show you today is how to take an existing API product and associate it with a rate plan or a pricing plan and start charging your partners or developers for the same. The way to get started is to first add a package, and a package is basically a way to group the API products that you're going to start building for. So let me create a package here. And I've set up some existing products already. So let me add a product to it. And I create this package. With a given package, I'm going to start associating different rate plans. And I can target these rate plans to a particular partner or across the board. So in this case, I'm going to target the rate plan to a partner named as ABC Company. It's a revenue share plan, and I will name it as such. And I'm going to create a pretty straightforward fixed revenue share model where my partner is going to get a 10% cut of every dollar that they send my way. And I can either save draft or I can go ahead and publish. The reason I would save it as a draft is if I wanted somebody else in the organization to review it, maybe somebody in finance, and then I'd go ahead and publish it. Now, if you had a developer portal that was provided via Apigee, these rate plans would show up automatically once you publish, and your partners and developers could go and accept the same.
Now, from this clip, you might have got a quick overview of how the Apigee is set up for rate plan with an existing API product. So let's switch over to our. So this is cloud.google.com/Apigee docs API platform monetization overview. So what it says that as an API provider, you need an easy to use and flexible way to monetize your APIs. So using Apigee's monetization feature, you can add a rate plan to an Apigee product. The rate plan lets you charge the developers for using your APIs. You can also configure the rate plan to share your API revenues with developers. So what does this rate plan include? Because I am unable to show you a live demo. So it defines billing model, frequency and currency, initial setup fees, consumption based or recurring charges, and revenue sharing and activation and expiration time. So this is a flowchart, API provider, and generate reports, and this is the API product with API proxies and rate plan, and then these API key, purchase API product. These are the app developers. All right, now in the rate plan, actually, when it is monetization add-on is enabled, it defines the billing configuration, fees, and charges that are incurred for the use of APIs offered in monetized API bundle. And there is another good documentation here, managing rate plans for API products. So this is another resource where you can see that using rate plans, API product owners can monetize their API products by configuring the following. Okay. So it is of utmost importance to contact sales for unlocking new revenue stream by adding the monetization add-on for your production organizations. So this one is showing a business professional analyzing floating holographic data dashboards in high-tech setting. So why use Apigee X for API monetization? Because it is a comprehensive API management which is secure and analyze and manage APIs effectively. And it has got flexible monetization models, supports rate plans, revenue sharing, and tiered pricing. And it got a developer portal integration. Easily you can onboard developers and track API usage. And it has got advanced analytics and reporting. And got a Google Cloud integration, leveraging AI, security, and scalability from Google Cloud. So this is a snapshot of a Google Cloud documentation diagram for Apigee monetization, and this looks like a flowchart. You can say a schematic diagram. It's an API provider, and this generator reports, and these are the API providers API products. It defines the access limits and API key approval method, and these are some proxies, and this is the rate plan, billing model, frequency and currency, initial setup fees, consumption based or recurring charges, revenue sharing, activation and expiration times. Going to finally the app developers, which is a Google Cloud photo. Now, what are the Apigee X monetization features? So this provides all the tools you need to implement robust monetization strategy, and key features are these: flexible rate plans, offer various pricing models like fixed fees, pay as you go, volume based pricing, or hybrid approaches, and you are able to group APIs together into products and offer them as a single package. You can bundle the products, your APIs as digital assets or products, and it simplifies the sign up process for developers and manage their access levels, and it defines terms and conditions for API usage and track acceptance, reporting and analytics. You can get insights into API usage, revenue, and developer behavior, and transaction recording is there. Payment gateway integration, connect to popular payment processors to collect payments, and customizable notifications are all there, part of it. So, what are the common monetization models for Apigee? Pay as you go. Developers pay only for the API calls they make. Great for unpredictable usage patterns. For example, if with the data API charges 0.01 per API call or 1 cent per API call, and a fixed fee, developers pay flat monthly or annual fee for unlimited access, good for predictable usage and building long-term relationships. For example, a premium data analytics API offers a $500 per month plan and a tiered pricing It offers different usage tiers with varying prices, encourages developers to upgrade to higher tiers as their usage grows. For example, a storage API offers a free tier of 5 GB or 5 gigabyte, a basic tier of 50 gigabytes for $10 per month, and a premium tier of 500 gigabytes for $50 a month. These are all examples, sample examples of pay as you go, fixed fee and tiered pricing. And volume based pricing is a charge different rates depending upon the total volume of API calls, incentivizes high volume usage. For example, a translation API charges $0.005 per 1,000 characters for the first million characters, and then $0.003 per 1,000 characters for subsequent usage. So it is encouraging volume based pricing. And hybrid modules combine different pricing models for maximum flexibility. For example, a fixed monthly fees plus pay as you go for usage exceeding the monthly limit. And there are some real world case scenarios. E-commerce platform Shopify example which is an e-commerce platform which provides APIs for developers to build integrations, and they could monetize their APIs by offering tiered pricing based on the number of API calls. And then the second scenario could be a financial service Plaid example, which is a financial services company which provides APIs for accessing account information and processing transactions. And a travel industry MADS example, which is a travel company which provides APIs for searching flights, booking hotels, and accessing travel information. And here, before this step 2, I will switch over to my Apigee X eval organization and then continue from there.